Right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I really believe that we are all okay. Um, Thank you so much for spending your time with us here as we are trying to explore and find a way on how we can actually improve our political matrix in the country. I can see that a lot of people, they want to see Mnangagwa gone, but my position will never change when I say we want the system of ZanuPf and ZanuPf gone, because our problem is not only Mnangagwa. It has become a culture of ZanuPf to actually demonize one person in order for them to serve their long term in serving the country while they are failing. But now, for us to actually invite everyone to a sense of understanding that our problem is not personalized to one person, our problem is actually with the system and ZanuPf with its policies, which actually render us to a position where we need to actually find exactly who is the enemy. The enemy of our problems actually is ZanuPf itself as a party and a system. Therefore, if ever we have to actually put effort, let us not focus on the effort of bringing down one person in ZanuPf, because it will be a repetition of failure from the electorate, and we must not be used as the people of Zimbabwe. We need to actually make sure that if we push a revolution, that revolution has got lasting solutions, not just serving the interests of other people. We are always hot-spotted into factional fights of ZanuPf, and it is also well known by them that every successful revolution must be on the shoulders of the people. Therefore, as the people of Zimbabwe, I want to urge everyone, and we need to understand that as the people of Zimbabwe, what we need is new government. What we need is the leaders who advocate for the interest of the masses, not for their interest. We know that we need to be affiliated somewhere. We know that we need to be affiliated to other people who must also get into a lot of agreements with us to actually qualify into the international communities, trade relationships, and all those sort of stuff. But that must not render us to be a puppetry government which serves the interests of the outsiders on the expense of our people. Therefore, I don't want to lie to our people. Never join these factional fights of ZanuPf, because at the end of the day, it is not going to save us. In 2017, we had the very same problem, and the people were hot-spotted into the factional fights, which actually later got claimed to be their own thing. And at the end of the day, we are having our people who are wallowing in the dust of poverty without any change. Therefore, we need to understand and make sure that if we are taking a step which is going to cause a revolution or a change in Zimbabwe, it must be people-centered. We must not be hot-spotted into using our muscle as the masses only to find that it is going to benefit other people. So Mnangagwa is not the primary enemy here to focus on. Mnangagwa is representing the system, and that system has failed the people of Zimbabwe for over 40 years. Therefore, if we are to solve the problem of Zimbabwe, we are not going to solve the problem of Zimbabwe by getting rid of one person. We need to get rid of the whole system. And that system which claims to liberate the people, to have liberated the people, is now failing the people. And we want to believe that politics is the competition of ideology. And when politics is the competition of ideology, we need to give each other a chance. Democratically so, let us have a free and fair way of changing the government, because we both go to the podium to sell our manifestos and strategies and plans which we are having to serve the people. If we are failing, let us give each other's chance. But now, suppose we are in a starting point we are today, where the government is forcing people to actually accept what they don't want. We want to advocate that let the people form their own wind of revolution, which is centered to their interest, and they will advocate for that interest as the people without any political interference of any faction from the sitting government. So we are tired of this, and we need to actually form a formidable wind which is going to actually cause and give birth a real revolution which is going to save the people's life. We don't want bloodshed, but it seems as if in the political matrix there are missing dots which we need to work on. No wonder why when the liberation movement formed during the colonial era, you will come to understand that the enemy of that time was a settler. But at the end of the day, when they formed ZANU and when they formed ZAPU, they have done this as opposition movements. But my question will always remain to say, why was it necessary for them to operate in the political matrix but with a military wing, as much as we know that ZANU had ZANLA and ZAPU had ZIPRA to push a revolution? It was good by that time because the enemy was a settler. But as the people of Zimbabwe and the generation, we have actually grasped the truth that a gun pointed to a fellow black brother or a fellow black sister is actually a betrayal to the revolution. But if the situation compels us to a point where we see that we are being bullied, what is the next step? Are we doing things in a wrong way to compete on the idea without the military wings? Is it good for us to actually operate with such a mentality to say, for us to gain liberation, we need to be having a military wing? Because we've got a lot of opposition movements, but we are always getting bullied using the army. We are always getting bullied using the police. There is nothing wrong ZanuPf using their own army, because it is their own. It is their own formation. The first secretary of ZanuPf is the commander-in-chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. So the independence of army is compromised somewhere, somehow. But are we heading to a point of becoming a one-party state, or we need to be a multi-party state? Right now, we have actually joined the political ground, understanding that we are getting to a position of ideology competition, and let us sell our manifestos. If I'm given a chance by the people of Zimbabwe to deliver, let the ruling become the opposition to push accountability to me, so that at the end of the day, the people of Zimbabwe will take the political choice in a sober mind and a clear understanding, having the help of our media space and taking advantage that that media on its own understands that they are free to operate. We have got Blessed Mhlanga, who is in behind the bars. We had Hopo Chingono, who was behind the bars. Are we really pushing politics with a clear conscience, or we are just playing the drama of democracy to gain acceptance of the international community, not to mean the real representation of the people's will? Thank you so much for this moment.